Then why did you choose anthropology as your optional subject?
What is stable equilibrium, what is unstable equilibrium, and what is meta-stable equilibrium?
What do you mean by birth tourism, which recently has been declined by the US president?
Tell me, what is the difference between responsibility and accountability?
Let's say for tourism, which economics principle will you apply to enhance the productivity of tourism?
What is the concept of reverse migration?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Please be seated.
Thank you, sir.
Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, my name is Anju. I come from Sikar, Rajasthan. I have done my integrated masters from IIT Kharagpur in the Department of Economics. My hobbies are dancing and I occasionally teach.
Anju, you have done your integrated masters in economics.
Yes, sir.
Then why did you choose anthropology as your optional subject?
Sir, I really like to do different kind of things. So I thought that I have to study something. Let's try a different subject this time.
So what have you learned while studying anthropology?
Sir, while studying anthropology, I learned a lot about different kind of diverse population that India have, and what are the socio-economic indicators that they have, what are the problems they are facing, and what is government doing for them, what else can be done. And sir, I have also studied about the past of our subcontinent, what were the various types of people that were residing here.
Okay, you spoke about the government projects and all that. You must have heard about Manrega scheme, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
As a student of anthropology, if you are asked to give an anthropological assessment of the scheme, what all things come to your mind?
Sir, Manrega scheme is one of the flagship scheme which have given employment and financial independence to one of the most marginalized sections of our society. Not one but multiple. For example, the rural women, they have achieved financial independence. Also, the tribals are major beneficiaries of this scheme in rural areas. So, sir, I feel that it is a good scheme in the rural areas.
Do you think this scheme should be replicated in the urban areas also?
Yes, sir. There are various demands for replicating this scheme in urban areas because it guarantees some days of employment for the people. So, it's provide a social security net. So, sir, I feel yes, if we have a financial space to provide that, if we do not have fiscal constraint, we could do that in urban areas as well.
What is the concept of reverse migration?
Sir, reverse migration is the migration that is happening from the industrial urban areas to the rural areas or the suburban areas. That is reverse migration. Yes, sir.
Why does it take place?
Sir, various reasons are there. There are some push factors and some pull factors. Sir, the push factors are that during COVID, as we saw during pandemic, so such kind of events are a push factor. Sir, the rising cost in the urban areas is also a push factor. And sir, when the growth slowdown happens, then also, sir, there are less number of jobs that are created. Sir, pull factors are the agricultural season in rural areas. At that time, sir, the migrant workers go to their...
Okay. Now tell me, what are the laws under which marriage can be registered in India?
Sir, they are the sir, Hindu Marriage Act.
You have a Hindu Marriage Act, yes?
Yes, sir.
What
sir,
else?
There is also a Special Marriage Act for...
Now let us discuss something about the Special Marriage Act.
Yes, sir.
When we have already a Special Marriage Act in place, which was enacted in 1955, why there is a need for the UCC as far as marriage is concerned? And what way you think marriage under UCC is better than the Special Marriage Act?
Sir, as of now, there is no clarity of the registration under UCC. How will that happen? But sir, we are seeing that in Uttarakhand, so there will be similar laws for the people from all religions. While sir, in Special Marriage Act we have different kind of provisions while two people of different religions are involved. So, sir, that would be a difference.
How the issue of inheritance has been dealt with in the UCC, and whether it is there in the Special Marriage Act or not for the female?
Sir, I'm not aware about the Special Marriage Act, how inheritance will happen. But, sir, in Uttarakhand UCC, there are provisions which provide inheritance equally to all people from all religion, while right now there are different rules for different religion.
One final question. Do you support love marriage or arranged marriage? And why?
Sir, I feel that both are good. But, sir, if given a personal choice, then I feel that love marriage would be a better option for me. But, sir, for other people, I think arranged marriage can also be a very good option. I do not have any kind of prejudice for any type.
Okay, thank you.
Sir. Thank you.
Anju, you have done your internship with some Australian professors.
Yes, sir.
Did you stay there in Australia?
Yes.
How long?
Sir, for 3 months.
3 months. So did you try to know Australia, Society of Australia?
Yes, sir, I did try, but I was not able to visit a lot of places outside Canberra, which is the capital. So in Canberra, I tried to visit some places and some people, I interacted with them. So, sir, I have a limited knowledge of.
So you worked under the guidance of 2 professors. Between the 2, whom do you like more?
Sir, I feel that I liked John Stacheraski sir more, because he was there more for me for a longer time. Also, his hospitality really was very inspiring. He tried different cuisines of India, and he often invited me to his house. We cooked with his family, and we had a very great time. So, sir, I feel that
did you cook something for him?
Sir, we cooked together. The bhajia, these type of things. They were trying to learn Indian cuisines for me. So, sir, that was very nice.
Okay. Now, as a student of economics, you have analyzed different kinds of equilibria. Broadly, we study about stable equilibrium, unstable equilibrium, and meta-stable equilibrium. Can you briefly illustrate these 3 things? What is stable equilibrium? What is unstable equilibrium? And what is meta-stable equilibrium?
Sorry, sir, I have to revisit these things to give a good answer.
Never mind. Can you explain the economics of Magh Mela?
Sorry, sir, I have...
Economics of Magh Mela, which is being organized in Prayagraj nowadays.
Magh Mela. Okay. Yes, sir. Magh Mela. Sir, is it Kumbh Mela?
Yeah, Kumbh Mela.
Yes, sir. Sir, Kumbh Mela gatherings as such are a great point for economics, where a lot of number of customers and suppliers or the meet together, and a lot of business takes place. So, sir, in terms of economics, is a very good thing for the country.
So, can we say that it is a kind of trade fair? In modern language, we use the phrase trade fair, and this is a traditional trade fair which invites large number of customers and sellers.
Sir, yes, it can be said to be a trade fair, but sir, it's a more, we cannot just call it a trade fair, sir. It's a cultural...
of course, some
yes,
cultural dimensions are included, and that makes the economic event even more powerful.
Yes, sir.
Because once you condition the consumer with some kind of emotional inclination, demand elasticity weakens and consumer does not bargain.
Yes, sir. Marginal propensity to consume increases. Yes.
And so the sellers are able to sell at the price they wish to charge.
Yes, sir. So the sellers can sell at high prices.
Of course, high prices. And the consumers would not bargain simply because they are guided by devotion to some religion.
Yes, sir.
Do you think this is a very smart marketing strategy developed in India by ancient Indian thinkers?
Yes, sir. This might be a right thing to say, because these fairs have since ancient times have served as a great market. In fact, in ancient India, they have fairs which were specially made for trading, such as cattle fairs, and so, sir, yes, this could be said that it's a...
Can we use these events as counter-recessionary event, because the world is expecting this year to be a year of recession?
Yes, sir, definitely. We could use this thing to our advantage. Our country is a country rich of culture. and with all using that as an advantage to us, we could have greater consumption demand in our domestic consumption for our economy.
Okay, my last question. What are the potential threats as we conduct SWOT analysis of everything? So what are the potential threats of encouraging excessively these kind of religious and cultural events?
Sir, first of all, there is a potential threat to security of the people, because such large people gathering together at one place, it's a great deal for the administration to manage the crowd. So security is one of the major threat. Sir, other than that, sir, sometimes the arrangement that administration does are overwhelmed by the number of people that visits. It also lead to exploitation of the consumers and the people, and it could also lead to making use of their emotions for different type of purposes of different people. Sir, other than that, sir, I do not feel any.
My final point, does it promote scientific temperament among people or irrational behavior and thinking?
I do not think that it promotes irrational thinking, because God is a way of coping up with the everyday life and the stresses that a person have. So, sir, I think in our country both goes together, and such kind of events.
Thank you, Anju.
Anju, you just talked about the diverse population India has.
Yes, sir.
And managing it is the task of the government.
Yes, sir.
Through the constitution.
Yes, sir.
In constitution there exist Schedule 5 and Schedule 6.
Yes, sir.
So what is all about?
Sir, Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 are separate are provisions for a different type of administration that should be provided to the tribal areas. So Schedule 5 are those areas which are not populated by a very diverse population. Not very diverse, but the culture is a bit similar to the other population. But sir, Schedule 6 areas are for those regions whose culture is very different and very traditional, very ancient, small areas, small pockets. So sir, Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 does that type of arrangement.
What is the difference between being an NRI or being a resident?
Sir, being a resident, sir, an NRI person do not live in India. They are a citizen, but they live in some other country for their education purposes, job purposes, or any other kind of purpose. A resident person can be a citizen or cannot be a citizen of India, but they live in India for their own purpose.
Recently, Department Standing Committee of a ministry called Foreign and Affairs Ministry has suggested that the NRIs must get representation in the Parliament of India. So, how do you think so? It should be or not?
Sir, NRI contributes a lot to our country. They are a soft power for India in other countries. They are sending remittances to India. So, sir, they are, of course, a very important part of our country. So, if we could provide any kind of representation to them in Parliament, that could be a good step, sir, I feel.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, we have seen multiple times one nation, one election kind of thing and all that. So, recently our Speaker, Lok Sabha, has pointed out that there must be one nation, one legislative platform.
Yeah.
One nation, one legislative platform.
Yes, sir.
So, how could it going to be beneficial?
Sir, one legislative platform, I'm not able to understand what does it mean, sir.
Means the parliament as well as the state legislature must come at the same platform.
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to understand how will it happen. I have to read more about it, sir, to give a meaningful answer.
Okay, what do you mean by birth tourism, which recently has been declined by the US President?
Sir, birth tourism is a trend which is followed by many people who want to get citizenship into some other country, and they are going there as a tourist and then giving birth to their child there, and it gets citizenship by birth. So, sir, that is what is happening in America also. So, sir, US President Trump have given a statement against that they are going to renounce this birthright citizenship.
Anju, you play Kho-Kho, right?
Yes, sir.
So, what are the key attributes or the qualities that ensure winnability in this game?
Sir, a person should have a good reflex action. Sir, they should have speed. Sir, they should have good dodging skills. Sir, there should be you should be a good team worker.
Okay, so talking from a civil servant's perspective, there is a fine line difference between good reflex action and a knee-jerk reaction. And the another trait that you mentioned is dodging. Civil servants are often found to be dodging responsibilities. So, why do you think such issues are there with regards to the functioning of civil servants?
Sir, knee-jerk reaction might be there because we are facing different kind of problem these days that we have not anticipated. For example, sir, COVID. So, in these type of situations which are new, people generally have a knee-jerk kind of reaction. So, sir, I think we need to train our civil servant more to such kind of events which are not anticipated. Sir, other than that, sir, dodging, sir, because civil servant have a great amount of responsibility. So, sir, they often fear that if this thing goes wrong, then he or she could personally suffer. So, sir, dodging might be a result of
from
that.
the point of view of the entire bureaucratic system, how can we ensure that this tendency of risk aversion goes away from the functioning of the civil servants?
Sir, I feel that while training civil servants, we should focus more on making them a responsible person, a person who could admit that they have made mistakes and who could be committed to their service more than their self.
Okay, so tell me, what is the difference between responsibility and accountability?
Sir, accountability is towards a person of higher authority, or sir, that is called accountability. And sir, responsibility is a sense self of feeling responsible or feeling accountable to yourself.
So you have studied anthropology as one of your optional subjects, right?
Yes, sir.
How tribal heritage and culture can be preserved in the light of the developmental aspirations that we have? These developmental projects often lead to displacement of tribal communities. So how can we preserve their culture and heritage?
Sir, we have a lot of linguistic diversity. So we could develop language or script for tribals. So language is a good way of perpetuating culture. So, sir, first of all, we could develop script. Secondly, sir, we could try to, through our new education policy, we could try to include tribal heritage handicraft skills in the vocational training in new education policy. So, sir, through that we could also...
Okay. Anju, tell me that what are the schemes that are run by the government to ensure tribal welfare and upliftment? In very brief.
So, there are various schemes such as PM Janman is the recent. Sir, tribal subplan, sir, LAMPS, MADA, sir, we also have different schemes in healthcare sector such as mobile vans.
Anju, we often hear this discussion that we need to integrate the tribal societies with the main society, mainstreaming of these tribal cultures. So, economic empowerment can be one tool of doing that. How are we doing that?
Sir, first of all, sir, through various schemes, we are providing employment to the rural areas, as we discussed about, sir, Manrega. So that is one of the major thing. Secondly, sir, we are trying to use the self-help groups in tribal areas and connecting them to the e-commerce. For example, sir, in Kerala, Saheli program, which is connecting them to the e-commerce platform and making their art available to.
Have you heard of TriFed?
Yes, sir.
What is TriFed and what is its role?
Sir, TriFed works in the skill development of the tribal areas, and they also connect the markets to the tribal areas.
Okay. Anju, my final question to you. These tribal communities are also known to be the keepers of traditional knowledge systems. What are these?
Sir, traditional knowledge such as different kind of medicinal plants. Sir, what kind of crops would be suitable in which type of soils. And sir, traditional ways of irrigation. And sir, other than that, sir...
So is government doing anything in this regard?
Yes, sir. Government has actually made a portal to keep all these traditional knowledge into in a writing format so that we could save this. Sir, they are also working on the various handicrafts and the traditional arts of and showcasing them to the in the. Thank you, sir.
Hello, Anju.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Anju, briefly explain the economy of your hometown.
Economy
of hometown.
Sir, Seeker contributes around 320 crore to the GDP of Rajasthan. It holds a population of about 26 lakhs and the per capita income of Seeker is around 98,000 per person per year. And sir, there are various type of industries in Seeker. The service industry such as education, sir, IT services are also developing. Sir, in primary sector we have different kind of crops that are grown in the Seeker area such as onion, cumin. Also sir, in manufacturing sector we are also leading in the sector of textile. There are various arts of Seeker area which are very famous. Sir, the mining also happens in Seeker. And sir, tourism is also an important part of Seeker economy.
Okay, out of all this, which sector contribute most out of this 320 crore?
Sir, tourism contributes most, which is...
Okay, let's say for tourism, which economics principle will you apply to enhance the productivity of tourism?
Sir, which
economics principle?
Sorry sir, I am not able to...
Have you heard about Pareto principle? What is Pareto principle?
Sir, I might have heard, but in my college years, but recently I have not revised.
Fine. Anju, you are from KV, Kendriya Vidyalaya?
Yes, sir.
How it was learning and experience of Kendriya Vidyalaya, how it was different from any other school?
Sir, Kendriya Vidyalaya is, the students there are from a lot of different states. So sir, it was full of diversity and inclusiveness. So a person who have studied from Kendriya Vidyalaya is good with people. They can be friends with anyone. They can adjust with different kind of people. And sir, the teachers and the staff we have, they are world class. They are very, very good teachers, the best of the best. So sir, in terms of education also, KV is better than many other schools.
Have you heard about Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is the main difference between these two?
Sir, KVs were started for the children of the central government employees. But sir, the Navodaya Vidyalayas are started for the talented individual from the rural areas also. So it's not related to the central government employees. Secondly, sir, Navodaya Vidyalaya offer residential accommodation. But sir, KVs are day scholars school, so they do not have residential accommodation. Yes, sir. These are the two things that I could think of.
Something interesting or something similar which is in between chess and Kho-Kho.
Sir, I have not played chess, so I might not be able to give a good answer. But sir, both are games of tricking the mind of your opponent by making him or her feel that you might be doing something else but doing otherwise. So sir, I feel that this is a similarity.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Anju, talking about Mahatma Gandhi,
yes, sir.
His philosophy of satyagraha and civil disobedience, how you distinguish between the two, satyagraha and civil disobedience? Sir,
civil disobedience was the not following the civil rules in the society by the government. So that is civil disobedience. But sir, satyagraha is not necessarily not following the rules. It's about insisting on your stand and making people, making the government or the authority listen to your stand by resistance, by the means of resistance.
Could you give me one example each of satyagraha and civil disobedience?
Sir, civil disobedience was when in 1930s. civil disobedience movement where laws were not followed, such as Salt March. And sir, Satyagraha was the non-cooperation movement can be called Satyagraha, on which resistance was shown.
Any specific incident you can think of?
No, sir, not right.
It's all right. Who gave title of Bapu to Mahatma Gandhi?
Sir, sorry, sir, I could not recall.
Okay, thank you very much, Anju. It was nice interacting with you. The interview is over.
Sir.
You may go now.
Thank you.
Sit down, Anju.
Thank you, sir.
Your interview is on
30th January,
30th,
sir.
which is why questions on Mahatma Gandhi were asked.
Yes,
30th
sir.
happens to be Martyrs' Day,
Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you expect somebody may ask you questions, so you should not be taken off guard.
Yes, sir.
While questions are asked, because this is not your area, but you should be able to. And wherever you don't know, it's good that you said I don't know. That is how it should be. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Maybe just a possibility may not be asked also. But how was your experience, before I speak anything, how was your experience today with us?
Sir, it was very good. I felt good while.
Okay. Which attempt is this for you?
Sir, this will be my 4th attempt in second interview.
Second. When was the last?
Sir, in 2022, the cycle, in 2023 I gave. Sir, but then next prelims I did not qualify. Now this prelims.
Okay. So what was your score?
Sir, it was good, around 195.
You are a wonderful candidate. That's what we are discussing among ourselves. That you are capable of scoring 200 also, 200 plus also. So you have gone through this process once.
Yes.
I did not tell you much. 2-3 things are there which you must have maintained, but at the cost of reiteration, let me tell you again that you see it is a test of your personality, not the test of your knowledge per se. Knowledge has already been tested. So, and what questions will be asked, nobody can guarantee you, isn't it? So, only thing is that your certain aspects of your personality will come into focus while discussing with you the way you answer to questions. And basically, it will be seen by the board whether you are a person of absolute integrity or not. So, there has to be honesty of purpose in all your statements. Whatever you say, no statement should be based on conjectures or surmises. Absolutely no guesswork, isn't it? Not knowing is not a problem, but not knowing and still speaking is a problem. So make sure wherever you are in doubt, wherever you think that you won't be able to explain, say, sir, I am not aware. Better else there. You are not supposed to be knowing everything.
Yes.
Okay. Honest enough, candid enough to admit that I am not aware, instead of hazarding a guess. That is first and foremost principle. Second is try to be very crisp in all your answers.
Yes.
So, crisp answers, balanced answers. You are not supposed to be taking any extreme view on any debatable issues or any contentious issues. That you have to be very clear about. That whatever you give, any issue like on the collegium system, on the Places of Worship Act and all that, just by way of example I am telling you, your views have to be very, very balanced. That you have to weigh pros and cons of alternatives before coming to any conclusion. Okay. Then anthropology, you are very good. I tried to ask you a few questions. Absolutely good at anthropology. International affairs, due to paucity of time, we did not ask you any questions on international. But you know the areas where you have to study and all that. I must have studied also. Some opinion-based questions, like for example, Ukraine and Russia, who is the winner? Or both are losers, or both are winners? And what is your point of view? And what is the role of India in that? How India has been able to look at the whole situation and all that. Now, recently, Mr. Trump has taken over as the president of the United States. So, what are the issues involved? Trade is one major issue. Then the issue of Greenland is there. Panama Canal is there. Mexico border issue is there. Then he has announced, though in a lighter vein, that let Canada also become a 51st state of the United States. So, what are the reasons, and how are you going to how things could take a shape, so unfold itself, so that world geopolitics, you have to have a clear-cut view on the role of India in the changing scenario. Similarly, this Hamas peace accord, do you think that it is going to remain there, or you have some other issues in your mind, or some opinion or observations in your mind? That is another thing. You have studied economics also. You might have forgotten, but you have studied long back. And not only that, you have gone to the Australia to work with eminent economists there.
Yes.
Some questions regarding your experience of working with them, and some questions related to Australia may be there. Like once it was considered to be a penal colony for the Britishers. You know how Britishers they sent their prisoners. Their own prisons became overcrowded. So they sent their prisoners to Australia for the first time, and Sydney was their hub. So why it was considered to be a penal colony, that kind of a thing. So maybe somebody who knows the history of Australia may ask you such questions and all that. Recently, Australia has banned viewing of this thing, social media, internet and all that by children below 16 years. So what are its implications? Can it be replicated in India? Pros and cons again. So those general issues are there. Otherwise, you have secured 195. You are still capable of securing 200 plus also.
Okay.
So all the best from our side. If you have any specific questions in your mind, please feel free to ask us.
Sir, on Gandhiji, I am preparing right now, like for 2-3 days, I am just doing some kind of research for 1-2 hours. But sir, I think it's not, I cannot.
You see, Gandhiji's philosophy, what has Gandhiji's contribution in the field of anthropology? Suppose the very first question is asked. So then you have to give like caste system. How did he look at the caste system? Isn't it? Or the Sarvodaya. How did he look at the concept of Sarvodaya and all that? So same question may be put in a different way, because you have studied anthropology. So some discussions may happen related to your subject with vis-a-vis Gandhiji's philosophy. फिर Hindi Swaraj, that is another concept. So these concepts are general in nature. So you have to, there is a book also, I don't know whether you have time, but I will not ask you to go through any book at this stage when the interview is round up. Just basic information about Gandhiji's contributions. And if you don't know, say I don't know, doesn't matter.
Sir, if some contentious type of questions come, such as Gandhiji's philosophy there was a dichotomy in his words and what he did, because there are a lot of things on internet.
Lot of controversy is there on that. Again, weigh pros and cons. Never say there was a dichotomy in his philosophy. Never say it was right or it was wrong. Always give a third person view. That some people are of this opinion, some people are of this opinion, and this is what I personally feel in my limited understanding of the subject.
Yes.
So if you use that kind of a caveat, I mean the board will understand that this girl has not studied Gandhiji, because they are forcing her to say something, so she will speak. But speak through your mind and keep your mental cool and a very balanced views on everything. No problem. We have gone through it and we have achieved it also. 195 is a very promising score. Still, you could not make it in 2022.
So my mains was not.
So that brings me to the last question. How have you performed in the mains compared to 2022?
Sir, last time I was not able to complete my papers. Around one question in every paper, 15 marker, and in anthropology I left almost 30 marks paper. So sir, this time I have completed all of my papers. Yes sir, and content is a little better. I was better prepared on most of the topics of the mains, while I was not prepared on all of the topics of mains in 2022. So sir, I feel that this time I might perform better.
This time I think, God willing, you should find your name in the list of successful candidates. This is what your interview is going to go very well. So there is no problem about the interview part of it. Only thing is that one thing we have to keep in mind: no guesswork. That's it. Otherwise, absolutely no problem. You may get 200 also this time. It all depends on how your interview goes. but you have all the good qualities of becoming a very successful civil servant, I can tell you. Once you get selected, once you are brought into the nitty-gritty of governance, you will really come out to be a very successful civil servant.
Thank
all
you,
the
sir.
best to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, economics question, I was... So do you think that I have to now study those things?
Don't study anything. If you trust us, don't study anything. The more you study, the more you get confused, because where is the time? There is no time. Whatever you have studied, just relax.
Read at least budget.
Budget,
Yes.
that is, sorry, I had noted down, I just forgot to tell you. Budget is very important because it's coming on the 1st itself.
Yes.
And your interview is on 30th.
Yes.
So budget has many aspects. One is journey, how budget papers are prepared. Second part is documents, what documents are presented. And third is after parliamentary sanction, approval and president's signature, in what form you see, look at the budget, what are the documents. And next is, what are your expectations from the budget, isn't it? So...
Yes, sir, I am preparing on these. I have prepared on this.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you,
Do
sir.
well, do well.
Thank
And
you.
whatever you have studied, don't get unnecessarily unnerved.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.